Welcome back to the SJP, the show where we break down the human and systemic costs of America's legal machinery. And I'm glad you're here because today we talk about something that affects millions of people, whether they know it or not. Mass incarceration and the racial disparities that keep it running. Let's start with a number. The United States is home to about 5% of the world's population, but somehow we have nearly 25% of the world's prison population. Think about that. That means for every 4 people locked up on this planet, one of them is in an American prison? Now, here where it gets even more painful. Black Americans make up just 13% of the population, but nearly 40% of those behind bars. Latino communities also see disproportionate rates. So let me ask you this. When was the last time you saw someone get arrested in your neighborhood? What color was their skin? What kind of clothes were they wearing? What neighborhood were they in? And we know the answer because our minds have been trained by media, by policy, by generations of fear to associate criminality with race. And that training is by design. Michelle Alexander calls it a racial caste system. And she's not being dramatic, she's being honest. For the sake of argument, let's go back in time. The war on drugs sounds like something noble, right? A fight against addiction, crime, chaos. But in reality, it was a war on black and brown communities. Crack cocaine, pushed severely. Powder cocaine, slaps on the wrist. And guess who used which? Mandatory minimums, 3 strikes laws, broken windows policing, cash bail. These weren't random policies, they were strategies that targeted the most vulnerable, poor people of color. Let me walk you through how it happens. You get arrested, maybe for a minor drug possession or trespassing charge, but you don't have $500 for bail. So you sit in jail. Days go by, your job gone, your kids scared, your bills piling up, and eventually the prosecutor offers you a deal. Plead guilty and go home today, or fight it, stay locked up and risk more time if you lose. So you take the deal, you plead guilty even if you didn't do it, and just like that, you've got a record. Now every job interview, every loan application, every housing form, you have to check that box. You are not free, and this is happening every single day. Research by Ellen Donnelly and John McDonald found that just the act of pretrial detention increases your chance of pleading guilty and getting a longer sentence, and it disproportionately affects black defendants who are less likely to be released pre-trial and more likely to face cash-only bail. We say innocent until proven guilty, but that's only true if you can afford to prove it. Now, let's talk about the long-term damage. Bruce Weston said that mass incarceration has disrupted black family life more than any policy since slavery. And Sykes and Moroto found that having an incarcerated family member leads to a 64% drop in household assets. That's wealth stripped from families, not just punishment, it's economic theft. And what happens when people get out? Well, if they get out, they face discrimination in employment, housing, healthcare. They face stigma from society, but also, let's be honest, they face trauma, solitary confinement, dehumanization, years lost. We treat people like animals behind bars and then expect them to re-enter society like nothing happened? So let's ask the question. There are places trying to fix it. In Oregon, Multnomah County changed the way they assess risk for juvenile detention and reduced racial disparities. In Minnesota, Hennepin County revised their bail tools to avoid unfair targeting, and it made a difference. But these are patches on a dam that's still leaking. What we need is transformation. That means ending cash bail, it means decriminalizing poverty, it means reinvesting in communities instead of policing them. And yeah, that starts with us. We need to talk about this. We need to tell the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. But you know what's more uncomfortable? Silence. Here's what you can do right now. Visit sentencingproject.org and prisonpolicy.org. Educate yourself. Support local bail funds. Demand that your city fund schools and mental health care, not more jails. Talk to your family, your friends, your co-workers. Share this episode, share the data, share the stories. Justice isn't about the courtroom, it's about the society we build, the system we accept, and the futures we protect. If we want a better future, we have to fight for it. But that'll be all for today's episode, guys. Thanks for being here. I'm Edwin, and this was the SJP. Until next time, stay awake, stay active, stay human.